unipkaaqutiarsigikpin taalaqanilaqannasuk unipkaaqtuaq qaaviuraqama niviaqsiaqarualuguuq iñuuniaqaneqsuq angayoqaagamini sumiteemma niviaqsiaqarualuk anguniallatuneqsaq aasiisulaqallavluni supayaanik iñuuniaqutик anuqqautigaiti anuqulingaallaaqsuq anuqulingaallaaqpaalluni kisaimma panernialiaqsiput niviaqsiaqarualuk kisaimma isummeqpoq tapuraasi kangitsaquaqsigaassumman anuqlisugurukumagaan summan anuqulingaallaaqamagaan tapuraasi kangitsaquaqsigaassumman anuqlisugurukumagaan
So scrimshaw is this really beautiful method of art that's done either on baleen or ivory, and traditionally it was used to tell stories.
Each etching is telling a story of some event. Caribou hunting was taking place. This is what was going on. War began around this time, and so it sort of gives you a timeline of history through etching.
An elder or the person who carved it would literally be able to read the scrimshaw story.
They're like reading a book, in a way.
A lot of the storytelling traditions would be things that after the storytelling was done, we'd just rely on the next person telling it. And so scrimshaw is a very important way for Alaskan Native people to record their history.
anuquliqpaalluni suniuraqanaitsoqunni tavurani viaqsiaqarualuk ayuungitsoq payyagniuliqsoq toqutaavajaqtoq kisimriorumi arraannaqqangapiaqtoq nibeaksiaqalualuk kangeqsingaluq supayaat ikajorteqaraniplugit allauluni taamna teriganniaq sivuneqsipkangagaa nibeaksiaqalualuk qanutun peqpaganaqtilaangit tamatkua ikajoqtauruat nibeaksiaqalualugulu teriganniaqalu ikayuutipiaqtuk siqaqaniurutimigini araa kangeqsinaitsoqunni qanuq pisimaaq aglaan tavra atautsikun aingaluk
When I was growing up, my grandpa had a pet white fox. If you're a good friend with a fox, when there's danger abound, they try to keep you from getting into trouble. They pull tricks here and there, and foxes are like spoiled little kids in a way. When you let her out, she'd go prancing out in the snow, jumping in the air. I know she was happy then. Come running at me and jump on my chest, knock me backwards, lick my face, and I try not to let it. So that was my memory of my grandpa's pet fox.
Caribou it provided for us in many ways.
Our clothing in those days was made of all caribou skin.
I grew up wearing caribou pants, mittens, caribou skin mattress, blankets.
Some people had boots that were made with wolf leggings, sealskin sole bottoms. Baleen was shaved to make insoles. They kept us quite dry and warm as well. But the caribou skin clothing was the best. We would get as many yearlings as we could for our outer clothing. And for a heavy winter, we would get caribou in February or March because the hair was the longest and the skin was the thickest, and we would use those for our winter gear. With that stuff on, you could sleep outside in 50 below and it wouldn't bother you a bit.
Sila is the weather. It also means the atmosphere. Here's the nuna, or the land. And it's anything from the land into the moon, the sun, the stars. That's Sila.
It's a very spiritual, and we have a relationship with Sila. Sila has a soul in the same way we do as people, in the same way animals do.
I think spirit helpers in and of themselves are really about how we're connected with things. And so it may be that there's a spirit helper that shows themselves as a bird to show you the way home, or it may be a spirit helper that actually decides to show themselves with the face and body of a man instead of their animal form. And so I think one of the things that's hard to understand is that it's not one way of seeing things, it's one way of knowing you're connected to everything.
We've always had that spirituality of everything around us.
It's the interaction you have with the air you breathe, the ocean that you gather resources from, the rivers from which you gather fish, the tundra from which you pick berries, the animals that give themselves. It's all of that.
Iveaksiakarolo dikit ka aimakpini. Agalan malunak singamalak. Inyokolok dikin ngamalok iveaksiakarolo pingan. Ibahalak simalok sumitema. Dikatsak kumanyain yaksok. Pakit kangam nago. ivaktani. Nunaqqeq isiuaqtuaqaniqseq. Iñungi toquttaqtauganiqsit. Niveaqsiaruulu upperingitqa tautuktani. Tautugunaqtuaq sunapayaaq siquminganiqsoq. Niveaqsiaruulu iñuniaqatingi pisaullaganiqsut. Qanuqimña anuqulaqpallqiñam tainnaqumiñaitqa. Tamaanga ikumauartuamin qaqraaqpam iñua niptaq. Sumaalagullaqami niveaqsiaruulu fiitsiñingani. Agalaan qaqraaqpallqiñat sagubingaitsut. Immenñaurat sagubegimiut samanga nunamin. Pakaruhutin nunaaqqimin. Qaikuin tutiin. Uqallaktuq iñugungaruaq uppik. Qanuquma ilisimaneqpaqa. Isumullaktuq niveaqsiaqarualuq. Qanuk kiitapura qaunugingagikpen. Qillautiga piigupku. Ikayoquniaqalluarikpen kimun tainna naaqeq. Sabaritilanga. Qilaraaraaq tuat niviarsiarualluuq nutqartikka. Qilaraaraaq tuat niviarsiarualluuq nutqartikka. Aasi anivlit Ingitchuna ittuktusugurugumagaan. Niviarsiarualluuq savattoqumiarlagut imminyaurat paqitka uppiuq qillautiga. Niviarsiarualluq utingaluq qillautiligaaquni. Uppiqqupiatsapalugaluq. Aasiitapura piviittaqiliuti piallagagaa niviarsiarualluq. Taannaquni aitsuutiqilaqangaluq. Uppik uqallaktuq. Uvvauna qaunagiingagiga iliginun pikitquvlugu. Tavratain na igilihuti. Tavratain na igilihuti. Sila tanig nunakingata inyukulok kasawag. Inyukulong tawdo kami nutkakawa. Agalan ni Beak siya karualok sa perinaksimalok. Kinalip sa Beak tawdo kami kilamitaw. Nalip sabi ak doktor tu kami kilometer. Pero iwaktani daw tu kay. Kinnalif saapiaq toqtootu kamio qilamitaa. Tabra ivaktani. Tautukkai. Kinnalif saapiaq toqtootu kamio qilamitaa. Tabra Kinnalif saapiaq toqtootu kamio qilamitaa. Tabra ivaktani. Tautukkai. 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 Annap qaaslikkaluaqtuk agalaan igilauniga siqqaqanaqsisiinnyaqtuq.
In the winter, when we were traveling, we didn't build sod houses, we built snow houses. In Canada, they call them igloo, but here in Alaska, we call them apuyak. We'd do a day of travel, and then we'd make a apuyak. The next day, my father would set traps, spend the day there, rest the dogs, give them something to eat, and then the following day, we continued to the next place. We'd go to my dad's sister, who had a house at Dubarg. They had a small sod house over there. We didn't have to do anything. We just visit with them, and my dad and my sister were glad to see each other, and they'd talk away while us kids played outside or go to sleep. By the time we get back to our home, my father would leave us with our aunt or with my grandmother, and then he'd start on his trips and go check his trap line. We were not into 8 to 5 kind of time, you know. We're in a totally different kind. We're in ecological time.
Drum is something that's common to all cultures in Alaska. All cultures have a drum that may have some stylistic differences or differences in the materials that it's made, but it's still in recognition of life and vitality. And the drum mirrors the heartbeat. And when you continue drumming soon, it will be in line with your heartbeat, because that's what it's supposed to be, the heartbeat of the community, and it symbolizes vitality. And it's the most tremendous feeling to be in a room and to have one long row of all the drummers and to have that feeling of unity, everyone beating in harmony, the drum beat in unison. It's the most beautiful feeling. And to know that you're connected, you're on the land that you are connected to. And even if you grew up outside of the community, that which is in you comes from this area. And it's the greatest feeling.
Man, I win at it and look what happens. Oh.